What's going on here today is an event that we have called the Mayor Brown Debate Invitational. It's the first of these that we've done. It is a debate tournament that involves 40 or so schools, all Chicago public schools.
The burning of gasoline is also a major contributor to the global warming.
And Congress has begun to investigate
ethanol beyond the subsidies we are already creating.
And if they are not talking about alternative energy,
so that the negative has something in particular to argue against. We've all been doing it for over a year now since we're varsity, so I think we're feeling more excited than nervous. I just want to demonstrate how well me and my partner know our case so that we can win as many rounds as possible.
In 1995, a group of people came and formed the Chicago Debate Commission. They asked the question, are there any debate teams in Chicago Public Schools? Because their mission was to bring back a debate, competitive academic debate, to the Chicago Public Schools.
First argument is going to be Top Cali, and then moving on to Iraq oil.
The theme of this event is urban debate and the diversification of the legal profession. And so the debaters are being oriented about what it means to be a lawyer, what a lawyer does, what different kinds of law practice there are, and how one prepares to become a lawyer.
It was a natural for us to partner with the local schools and invite kids to participate in an invitation in which they could demonstrate their debate prowess.
And we have partners that want to nurture our kids and give them internship opportunities and job shadow opportunities. So this is something that we want to do from this day forward, is, develop partnerships, be it a law firm, be it corporations, be it other organizations. We just want the world to know how important debate is and how important our students are, how committed and dedicated they are.
What is really cool is I get to hang out with lawyers, and I love law. I love everything about it. The more I'm around here, the more I say, you know what, I can do this.
It's a 4-round tournament, all right? 4 debates.
We have 2 judges per debate, so that's been really nice for the students, so they've been able to get 2 different perspectives.
And Congress has begun to investigate and deliberate about the risk of climate change and potential mitigation.
The affirmative team in a debate round has to support the resolution.
these countries have the resources and the political will and capacity to secure.
And the resolution this year is resolved that the United States federal government should substantially increase alternative energy incentives in the United States.
The burning of gasoline is also a major contributor to the global warming. Cars and light trucks account for 2/3 of CO2 emissions.
I mean, we're not talking about like regular things. We're talking about ethics and global nuclear destruction. It's exciting and it's fun.
It'd still be too easy for a plane to crash into a nuclear power plant or some other way for it to be sabotaged.
Even if the judge thinks that nuclear power is a good idea, there's no jurisdiction because there are no state agreements.
The general idea is that you take a side. One side has to debate why we should maintain the status quo, and the other side debates why things generally should change.
We are using this money to harness more alternative energy that's cleaner instead of moving a bunch of toxic nuclear waste.
What debaters are doing constantly is they're trying to find out what the flaws are in their opponent's arguments.
I'm talking about your definition for incentive.
Right, we say that anything that increases action.
What we're doing where do you get your definition from?
Every time I go into a debate round, it feels like it's a battle between me and the other team.
The fierceness of the competition strengthens our relationships. It's like we're having fun and we're learning, and we're also being really competitive.
China was helping China's economy.
I don't see how that's connected with oil.
And it's not like we're enemies like throughout the entire thing. We're just exchanging ideas.
They have really learned how to be truly effective debaters by proving their point well without having to take their enemy out at the knees.
How does our plan specifically lead to racism?
Because you're still going to, because
you're in front of an audience that may be skeptical. You may have to persuade them. And in order to do that, you have to think through what are the potential flaws in my position? Where can I strengthen the evidence in my argument?
Okay, but I'm saying, what are some of the federal programs that you're talking about? Can you give any examples?
Thousands of oil spills annually since water.
The judges have to be convinced as to whether or not they should change the status quo or maintain it. So they have to ask themselves the question at the end of the debate of whether students have convinced them.
These threats will exist.
It's this kind of academic exercise that, by the way, is built on a competitive sports-like structure that makes it motivating, enjoyable, and engaging.
We're dependent on Iraq oil right now. Iraq is dependent on their own oil right now. It gets me involved, it gets me motivated, And really, debate, if you're doing correctly, it can improve you in all skills.
Just not only help me create arguments, but help me have think quick on my feet.
Your vocabulary enhances. You become more mature about everything.
Debate allows them to find a voice. You know, there are very few forums in life or in society where adults are forced to listen to students talk about serious global issues. And I think in debate, one of the great things is students find their voice and adults are there to listen and give their feedback.
I feel that my role as the debate coach is really someone to motivate them to work. So I'm not one of those coaches who writes arguments for them. I'm one of those coaches who discusses ideas with them.
You don't feel like your parents listen maybe, or you don't feel like your friends care what you think, but in debate, you know, we're really asking them to talk about the most serious things in the world, and they are able to do it successfully.
The owners of the property can use as a matter of a right, and capitalism gives equal rights to men and women.
Corporations that know a lot about the government, you know the issues, and when you look at the news, you can go farther into it, in depth with it, because you know, you can kind of say, I know about that.
We always listen to National Public Radio every morning, which basically just give us, you know, updates on, you know, current events that's going around the world.
Our students have a file folder ready to talk about the very scientists who argue global warming is causing environmental harm to the earth. Or sometimes the students will argue the opposite, that global warming is not man-made and that it's historically inevitable. But they're able to argue both sides of those issues.
Every individual showing concern over the climate crisis deserves respect. Respect also involves acknowledging that different people have different backgrounds, loyalties, and understanding.
I love to teach and I love to learn, and through every debate, every practice, every day, I learn something from the kids. So it's very reciprocal. And the joy, happiness, learning, and teaching that goes on a regular basis.
Social ecology is...
You can have students in a school who are smart and want to show that they're smart. But if there's no community support for it, if there's no place where that's valued, they have to hide that, they lose it. That's why high schools that are better supported by our society have those programs, okay? Because they know that it's important that those kids who are communicators and those kids who are smart have a place to show that. And that's why the Chicago Debate League has been so valuable to so many kids.
Combat aircraft and possibly surface-to-air missiles he shares with that.
Chicago Public Schools has one of the best, if not the very best, urban debate leagues in the country. Many kids across the city of Chicago, they feel like this is a place where I can be smart. This is a place where I get rewarded for being a good speaker. This is a place where my knowledge about politics doesn't make me odd, it makes me successful.
It's something that you would think of as like not cool or whatever, but it's a learning experience. It's very fun. You meet nice people. You get lots of opportunities.
I think that the kids learn so much and they grow so much, and it's their ticket to college, frankly, and beyond.
For me, basically just been, because right now I probably like laying around the house watching Saturday cartoons, but basically just really getting me out to explore, you know, new benefits and new adventures, going into debate. You know, nobody wants to be sitting out in the corner just laying out, you know, your mother's house when you're like 37 years old, so basically that's about it.
I am heartened. I think even the most callous lawyer would be heartened by being around these kids. It gives you hope for the future.
You've taken the first step today because you at least have identified something that you care about and you're passionate about and something you want to do. Let me tell you, that puts you ahead of so many people.